officials, this is our 2-minute warning. 2 minutes. Ladies and officials, 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning. Ladies and officials, this is your 30-second warning. Please go to the field. Ready to play. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Well, we're off to the races, aren't we? What a game. A draw for Chile against Switzerland keeps them out, and a draw for Canada is not enough to get them through. So Belgium are our first team through to the elimination knockouts here at the Touch Rugby World Cup. And the next team to go through might well be New Zealand if they can beat South Africa here, as we perhaps expect them to do. South Africa, big game for them, for their tournament hopes. Joe Wright alongside me, and well, what a bright start this is for New Zealand.
Yeah, and that's the Touch Blacks doing exactly what they needed to do. Fast start, Counties played back on the inside, and then look at the catch and pass to the wing. And New Zealand open the scoring. South Africa, it's warning signs early doors.
Well, New Zealand are going to top this pool. Already seen them in action today on the live stream. They were pretty dominant earlier in the day when they featured live here on pitch 2. They quite comfortably beat Japan, who were the second best and other undefeated team in the pool. So they are well and truly on their way, and South Africa look to respond.
Yeah, South Africa now moving the ball through the middle. So a lovely little bit of goosey in the middle, but touch made. And South Africa just running out of touches in their line attack. It allows New Zealand to roll through their transition smoothly. And oh, look at the hands around the single shooter. New Zealand roll into their transition into the red zone now. South Africa switches coming, check back up on the inside. This is fifth. They've got a strike. They do. They look long. Ball goes to ground, and New Zealand looking hot.
Lofted pass from Sean Wilkie. One to watch for the Kiwis.
And South Africa now with their turn to roll through the transition.
Well, South Africa in need of a response then, already down early here. We saw the men's open side live on the pitch 2 here earlier on in the day. They were also victorious. Oh, sorry, they were beaten in stunning fashion by Japan, in fact. No need to rub that one in. That was a great game. But in Pool B of the mixed open then, South Africa sit in 4th place. Now Germany take on, in this last round of fixtures, Chinese Taipei, who are bottom of the group with no wins. If South Africa lose here and Germany wins, South Africa will be out of the mixed open.
And that's a tall order for South Africa to go against this New Zealand mixed open side.
It's a big game for Scotland as well, who take on the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands also out. A win for Scotland would guarantee them their place in the competition.
Oh, lovely pickup. Oh, what a hole that is. Little drop off in the middle, and New Zealand double their lead.
Well, this is looking ominous for South Africa. We've got to keep one eye on that Germany score, as if they can beat Chinese Taipei, they'll be through in the place of South Africa.
Oh, superb as well from New Zealand, just exposing the disconnect It's Jones getting over for the score. It's a beauty of a score as well.
Still not really over that last round where Belgium's last gasp draw was somehow enough to get them through, despite Chile or Canada needing just a win to replace them. I mean, it's heartbreaking stuff. It's brutal in the knockouts here in the final round of fixtures in the mixed open.
Yeah, this is where you earn your skin or you get your heart broken.
Here's Zuma. Wide pass, looking for another. Little show and go. South Africa are over. Game on, Joe.
Yeah, beautiful. And this is what you need to do against the Southern Hemisphere team, specifically Australia and New Zealand. You need to take it hard to the line, fix defenders, and then back your teammates to hit your holes. That's exactly what happens here. Lovely transition. Ball goes over, 2-1.
Let me read you through New Zealand's results in this competition. 19-2 against the Cayman Islands and 20 points to 0 on day one. Then on day two, they managed to rack up a very impressive 19-5 win against Scotland. And then on day three, of course, we've already seen them be victorious by 14-3 against Japan. They are looking red hot.
Yeah, and it's no surprise either. New Zealand, a really dominant force in touch, only overshadowed by Australia. And South Africa have a really tall order to go against them, but they're going to give it a good crack. And it's one of those games where South Africa sort of have it all to lose, so they'll go out and play with a freedom that might be needed to unlock this New Zealand defence.
Well, South Africa with a record of 3 losses and 2 wins. That's why they sit just behind Scotland in the ranking. Scotland in 3rd place. It was Scotland who pulled off quite an impressive victory against South Africa in the opening round by 13-7. Japan then went on to defeat South Africa as well by 12-8, and they lost in heartbreaking fashion, Joe, by 1 point to Germany yesterday.
And that might be the decider, right?
It really might be. Germany beaten by 20 unanswered tries by New Zealand in response. There'll be some turnaround to challenge here. Jones, quick pickup. Here come the Kiwis. The lofted pass sliding in to touchdown. New Zealand have another.
Oh, what a left to right pill. It's beautiful again. And this is what New Zealand do to teams. They run hard, they fix you, and then they use the core skills. Long ball, what a sinker into the corner.
Mariana Winiana has been well in amongst the scorers today and throughout the mixed open for New Zealand.
Again, you'd love to be a winger, right?
Absolutely. Jubilani Zuma there for South Africa. He looks pretty bright out there.
Yeah, some could say zooming around.
And does Phoenix Twala there at number 9, who makes the touch. Well, what a transition this by the Kiwis. They're up to halfway on touch 3. Was there a foot in there from South Africa?
Yeah, looks like it's the case.
We're right in and amongst the box here as well. Val Thompson just spinning around to give some support.
Yeah, some might say the box, but hey ho.
Get out. No, I do like the touch box though, which is of course the nickname for the South African touch rugby side against the touch blacks. Japan's the touch blossoms. New Zealand call themselves the black sheeps as well. Belgium, sorry, who are through the black sheeps as in slides the Kiwis again. This time Sean Wilkie. And the game is slipping away from South Africa just 7 minutes in here. They're already 4-1 down.
Yeah, Wilkie gets underneath the covering defenders. Here's the roaming cam again. I love this angle. There's a nice little disguise on the hammer, and yep, there's the benefit of having a low, long and strong dive, getting underneath the covering touch. And in South Africa, it does look ominous already, doesn't it?
Here comes South Africa in response though. What can they create? Here's Thompson. Touch made, clean pickup by Davis. Thompson goes himself. Well, Chinese Taipei have taken a shock lead against Germany over on pitch 3, which means that a defeat here might not spell the end for South Africa if they can keep within a few tries. It's try difference that separates the two. Germany, of course, beaten by 20 by the Kiwis. But at the moment, it's South Africa who might be able to sneak into the final 4 on try difference alone.
Yeah, although you never want to leave your fate in the hands of someone else, because 9 times out of 10 they'll let you down. But at the moment, the Chinese side doing the box a favour.
Yes, you wouldn't want to leave it in the hands of Chinese Taipei. No offence, but they yet to get off the mark in this competition. What a win it would be for them. A huge moment for Chinese Taipei. A famous victory over Touch Deutschland, who I watched on day one and were very impressive. Here come New Zealand again, though. Can South Africa halt the charge? Lovely inside ball to McIntyre. Tian McIntyre goes long from way downtown to set up another.
Oh, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful touch, and again, in the corner, it's that long bomb that we've seen so often from New Zealand. Right foot step. What a pilt. Out to the wing. New Zealand just rinse and repeat scores.
Winiana on another hat-trick already. Tap off from the halfway. Here goes Segan Davis. There's the ball inside to Potterton. Potterton, quick lift, wrapping round the corner is Boucher. Boucher at the half. Winding one up Duplessis. Little show and go from Vorster. And then the touch made on Boucher.
Yeah, South Africa just struggling to find their feet on the line attack. A little bit static into the roll ball. Need to have a bit more momentum so they can drive the New Zealand team back. But that is much easier said than done, especially against a side as accomplished as this New Zealand mixed open. As they look to run
they're on the charge again. They're within a few yards here. The wide pass from Jones, and the winger again is free, and that's another hat-trick for Mariana Winiana. Oh, New Zealand, in the blink of an eye, have just turned this game over. Yeah. And already, Joe, our mind is stuck to the Germany-Taipei game, because that might be South Africa's only hope.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, it's, you know, from a South African perspective, how can you shut down the hands? Because the hands are just so electric. They whip around the passive link all too easily, and then it's hands out to the wing. So South Africa at the moment have their hopes and dreams relying on a winless team, and that's not a good sign.
Here's the thing, though. Germany have a minus 38 try difference. South Africa have one of +2. I mean, that's disappeared now. It's now on -3. But they could go through on try difference if they just stem the flow a little bit here. And things stay as they are over on pitch 3. We're really in the crunch stages of the Touch Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, and you can really feel the tension in the South African box as well. They know they're up against it, and they know that they just need to slow the scoring down. But, I mean, that's a better option, just giving away the 6 more. But, I mean, look at the width of the New Zealand wingers. They are almost hugging either touchline because they know that that spiral bomb is on from either hand.
The balls off the middles at the moment are pretty impressive. Here's Tama Hawken, who's been really good today. Into the palms of Anderson. Hawken is there at the half. Touch made on Wilkie.
Yeah, a really good touch. South Africa are going to need more of that if they're going to defend this set of 6. Open side quickie, step back.
Bick inside to Hawken, and he chucks it over the top, and it's another score for New Zealand. And this time it's Atawai Hotene.
I mean, they're averaging one every 2 minutes, and that is not good news for South Africa. At the moment, yes, they're defending the middles well, but it's the long bomb. And how do you defend it?
Well, at the moment, they're still going through on try difference, let's not forget. But any result for Germany against Chinese Taipei would knock South Africa out. Oh no, the commentator's curse has struck again. Germany have equalised, Joe.
Oh, nightmare.
I'm whispering it because I don't particularly want South Africa to hear me.
Yeah. Less said about that, the better, I think.
Well, I think this might spell the end for South Africa in the mixed open, and it's difficult to say that just 10 minutes into a game, but Joe, it's a bit ridiculous.
Oh, I mean, this footwork is ridiculous. Oh, Flavel getting over. I mean, come on, let's have a look at this. This is just disgusting.
Oh, no. Oh, dear, that is just silly, isn't it?
Oh, it's ludicrous.
Well, I'm closing my laptop. I no longer wish to see the Germany-Chinese Taipei score because I think it might spell bad news for the vibrant South African box that we are finding ourselves in the presence of over on this left-hand side. Here they go, though, South Africa. Who knows? Things can change so quickly in the game of touch. New Zealand are through, top of the group regardless. That's a lovely switch on the inside. Vorster is caught.
Yeah, it's good ideas from South Africa trying to engage the middles, but they need to run that switch at more depth.
Boucher, Thompson at the half. Thompson, little drop on the inside, and it's Forster, hand in there from Tian McIntyre. So they'll have 6 at the line.
Yeah, that's much better as well from South Africa. Looking at the disguising the long ball and dropping the ball off short. They're going to need more of that.
Well, that is a miscommunication as the changes were made, and after the tap, New Zealand just walked up and grabbed it.
Yeah, it's one of those where if the half isn't at the ball, there's no onside line, right? So the New Zealand players are more than entitled to just fly up and go and stake a claim to the possession. But South Africa force a midfield turnover, and we'll have an opportunity, if they don't burn too many in the midfield, to have a couple cracks of the line. There's another one burnt, so they'll have 2.
Here comes South Africa again, looking to create something. Du Plessis, well, once on the return, instead they change direction, and it goes to ground. The ball from Oberé, not on target.
Yeah, it's just a lack of accuracy and consistency at the roll ball. And you look at New Zealand, it's a direct contrast because they'll very rarely make a roll ball infringement. And look at the pace at which they transition and get the fresh legs on. This is dangerous times for South Africa.
Well, New Zealand are going to top this pool, and they're going to take on the likes of the United States or Italy in the next game, depending on the results elsewhere. The Philippines, United States, Italy and Ireland still all in contention for a spot in the quarterfinals over in Pool A. New Zealand will top this pool, Japan in second, Scotland in third, and at the moment Germany in fourth. The knockouts of the Mixed Open will be the first on show live here as we move across to pitch 1 at the Touch Rugby World Cup 2024 here in Nottingham. And I don't know about you, Joe, but I am tremendously excited for some knockout touch footy.
Oh, finals footy is always the best. The stakes are high, the adrenaline's higher. It's typically when you get your best touch, and also you start to see, because let's be real, right? So the teams that are sort of already given the qualification, so yeah, I'm talking about you, Australia and New Zealand, they're playing sort of county level touch at the moment. They're holding their best cards behind their back, ready to let them loose on finals footy. And I mean, I think we'll see a completely different outfit.
Well, Japan played a fully rotated side in the Men's Open when they took on the Philippines and then beat them 18-3. As New Zealand go in for another to not a whole lot of fanfare.
Yeah.
Ataway Hatene has another.
Looked like it had slightly bobbled loose at the end, but the referees disagree and give the score. We'll see it here on the replay. It's the sweeper, QB, and they just hold the width.
Tap then at the half for South Africa. 9-1 now with 3 minutes to go. I feel as though sometimes we don't give teams like New Zealand their full due. I certainly earlier in the last mixed game, as it got away from Japan, I found myself lacking in congratulatory terms from New Zealand, but what they're doing is truly special, Joe.
Yeah, and I think it's because we're so accustomed to it, right? And it's like, you know, how phenomenal is it if it's like this game in, game out? So for me, yeah, I mean, you know, you look at the pace, but it's almost expected from these Southern Hemisphere teams. They're just so aggressive, so direct. And yeah, I mean, I think it's games like earlier on, Australia-Lebanon, that really highlight the skill that was on display. What a Men's Open affair that was.
Even so, another victory for Australia to add to the board. And it's going to be another win for New Zealand here, even inside the first half, because they're into double figures already.
Yeah, and it's just the pace at which they get the fresh legs on, and South Africa's defence is always rolling. Such is the pressure and the dynamism of the New Zealand attack. And I thought there could have been an injury, but I think he was just taking his time to relax.
Well, here comes South Africa then. Du Plessis takes the first touch. They're down by 10-1, but still fighting here. Devan Du Plessis, little dummy into the hands of Joshua Boucher. Du Plessis, good pick up. Here's Vorster. Nasty gash on his leg there, Vorster, I believe, but still running hard. Vorster steps off the left, almost an interception. Instead, it will be 6 touches to South Africa.
Oh, and that would have been interesting to see him try and go full length with the speed demons of South Africa. But they've got a fresh set of 6. Let's see if they can use them to the full extent. They look for the sweeper.
Good hard line from Boucher. Back in to Divan du Plessis. Diving in this time. Du Plessis has another crack. We'll have a reset then. Boucher plays half. Vorster on the wraparound. Lovely change of pace. Another hand in there for New Zealand. So another 6 at the line for South Africa. And the players from this part of the world will be used to it. But the sun is beating down here. It's a tough defensive set for South Africa. A few changes for them in attack. Here's one of them. Jubalani Zuma. Oh, good footwork from Zuma. Has it back on the return. They've got a whole new attacking pod on there. Bern Ems has joined him, as has Phoenix Twala. Zuma. Ems. Looks to go long. Drops it off to Zuma instead.
Yeah, good option. He was half. Almost got caught. Almost could have been a late pass. But South Africa is just a little bit static in their attack. They need to move the ball a little bit better.
Twala. Ems. Zuma to his left. Skips them all out. Tries to pick out Ella Potterton. Ball to deck, turnover New Zealand.
Yeah, for me, South Africa just need to move the ball around a little bit more, a little bit crisper with the hands, get all of the New Zealand defenders off the line and then run at a retreating defence, and that's what New Zealand do so well to all the teams they play against.
Great transition from the Kiwis. The Touch Blacks are rolling here into the hands of Anderson.
Oh.
What a lovely drop off there. Soft hands. New Zealand surely in the corner for another. Wilkie with the final pass. Ariona Ieremia eventually the scorer.
Oh, and this is just superb. Look at the hands in the midfield here as they transition. So first of all, great midfield dump, and then here we go, engaging. Here we are, round the back. See you later, pal. Beautiful. This guy's on the ball, and then it's catch and pass. And New Zealand having fun out there.
Well, they score right on the buzzer then. So at the break, New Zealand will lead by 11-1. They are unceremoniously dumping South Africa out of the mixed open while securing their place at number 1. They will fancy themselves in the elimination games tomorrow afternoon. It is a worrying time for the touch box as Germany look to sneak in after beating Chinese Taipei over on pitch 3. We'll give you updates from all the live games, of course. With the second half still to come here, 20 minutes for South Africa maybe to turn it around.
I love Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood. From the bright lights of Goose Fair to the peaceful nature of the Sherwood Forest woods. There's a feeling of togetherness, unity, pure, honest, love. And that feels great like a bright summer's day at the horses down by the lake at Colic. All I love Nottingham. The River Trent, the embankment, the Nottingham Carnival, different cultures dancing. The diversity, just walking down Columbus Street on a Saturday. The 2 lions in the square stand tall with pride. And when the markets in town come alive, it gives me life. Listen, as the council house clock chimes, and depending on how many times, lets you know the time. I've been to concerts at the Motorpoint Arena, and I've been to concerts at the Nottingham Caves. I've been here all my life and I'm still amazed by this place. I love Nottingham. Sometimes I stare at Hockley's graffiti colourful walls, and sometimes I gaze at the deers running round Woollerton Hall. Supreme thrills, from chilling up at Greens Mill or up at that castle on the hill. Nottingham, I love you. always will. Visit Nottingham today.
So what does it mean to you?
The time,
Sweat, the passion,
The thrill.
The determination,
the support,
the camaraderie.
but it's so much more than that.
We're playing for something bigger.
you ready?
Question is,
How are you going to leave your legacy?
And we are back underway on pitch 2 of Highfields Day 4, South Africa versus New Zealand, and New Zealand with a very comfortable lead going into this second half. South Africa unfortunately coughing the ball up early, and New Zealand look to get underway in the same vein as how they left off. Fresh legs for New Zealand coming onto the field as they look to drive into their line attack. Here's the pace injected. Scooping player comes. Long balls on. They look for the passive link, and that is just a beauty of a score. Once again, passive link, hands out to the wing, exposing the 2-on-1.
Well, I don't wish to appear nonchalant, Joe, but gosh, they score a lot of tries, don't they?
Yeah, it's like, how many tries can you enjoy when there's so many of them?
They don't celebrate anymore, New Zealand. It's a tough concept to endure.
Yeah,
I mean,
business as usual.
they're excellent. No one can deny that. But it's...
Can they play with 4 in this second half?
Yeah, do they? It's difficult because...
Do they need 6? Can they play with 4? Because
and this is a South African side that have grown so much since the World Cup's beginning. Adam Collins, our colleague, of course, down at Riverside today, was the coach of South Africa for their first ever World Cup when he took just one team.
Oh, South Africa.
And now South Africa are looking to create some flair, and they are on the board in the second half.
Yes.
Yes, I was worried there. They'd be called short, but they have got to try.
Yeah, see, and that gets celebrated.
Alame cocking Mika there with the score.
Beautiful pill. Anything you can do, I can do better. Just not as frequent. Lovely long ball.
Just not as frequent indeed, unfortunately, for South Africa.
Yeah, and if you are a New Zealand fan watching this and you think we're not being as praising, but you know, like when you're a kid and you have loads of sweets and then sweets become boring, that's sort of what's happening at the moment. It's spectacular, but we'd like it if there was a spectacular score like once every 10 minutes.
It's the ninth Halloween in a row here on Highfields 2. I think New Zealand have just gone in again. Can you believe it? In the blink of an eye, they transition with such violent pace. They've got another score, and they make it look so easy.
Yeah, if only if it was that easy, I'd probably still be playing.
Textbook from Jones. He picks out Winiana again.
And again, it's just the beauty of a score. They're just able to find the space wherever they want to. And I would almost like to see them play with a man down or like 2 men down and just see how that changes the dynamic, because it just feels like whoever New Zealand play, and it's the same with Australia, it's just inevitable.
The second time I've watched this specific women's mixed open side, coast to victory, and against two very decent oppositions in Japan especially, who were the second-ranked team in the group. They've just been so impressive. They were so nonchalant in the way that they went about their business. They defend with such pace. That's wonderful line speed again to shut them down. I mean, this time it's Cody Tate involved, but all of them possess such grace and power in defence and attack.
I think what you said earlier sums it up. It's like the most elegant violence you've ever seen in your life. It's like the sweet science that'll knock the teeth out of you if you're not paying attention as they look to go over again.
Well, an important touch on the cover, but I think it's been given as offside. So it's a score for Sean Wilkie. And New Zealand go over again. I think this game has got away from South Africa in the early stages. I wonder how deep New Zealand can carry themselves. They lead by 14-2. They've matched the try tally they notched up against Japan earlier today.
Yeah, it doesn't make for good reading if you're a South Africa supporter at the moment. It's just all one-way traffic, and I'd like to see South Africa sort of do away with the rule book at the moment and just play some jouet rugby.
Germany have gone 3-1 up against Chinese Taipei, so they will sneak into 4th place and they'll be through to the round of 16 tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, it's a great line as well, cut from South Africa, trying to get over, but unfortunately once again the space is crowded out by New Zealand. And I think the reason why New Zealand make it look so simple is because they do the fundamentals almost the best you will ever see. Defensive spacing, perfect. Reads, perfect. Catch and pass, perfect. It's all of your basics that underpin or everything that happens on a touch rugby field is spot on. And then you add to that the flair, the creativity, the momentum. And it's almost an insurmountable task to go against them, as there is it looks like there's a bit of an injury. The player will just halt for a couple moments as the injured player gets the treatment he needs.
We'll talk about our next game then, live here on pitch 2. It's Singapore against Wales in the Women's Open, and Singapore have had a great run of things so far. After 5 games, they're in the top 4, and they just need a win to confirm their place. Wales still have faint hopes of slipping in with a big victory there in the Women's Open. Of course, the final rounds of the Women's Open will be tomorrow. So if Wales can win today and then win again tomorrow, they might just sneak into the top 4 and find themselves in the quarterfinals. A win for Singapore would certainly secure their place.
Yeah, and Singapore have looked really good in the Women's Open. They're really well drilled. Me and Adam were on comms with them yesterday, and they're just so aggressive. And such a really close-knit team that their structures of transition and attack and their setups are so creative, and they're all on the same page. It's a big task for Wales, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, there's a cracking game for you as well after, as Samoa take on Fiji in our final game of the day in the Women's Open. Both sides in need of a win in that game. Samoa and Fiji currently languish outside of the top 4, but they are in this incredibly difficult pool that includes, and wait for it, New Zealand, England, the United States, South Africa, Ireland, Hong Kong, China, as well as the likes of Fiji, Samoa, the Netherlands, Philippines and Thailand. And that's a Hong Kong, China Women's Open side who have looked excellent.
Yeah, genuinely excellent. That pool is, and pardon the pun, it's the pool of death. It really is. To get past those top 4 is almost impossible.
Well, Fiji and Samoa will keep their hopes alive with a win. So it's sides with everything to play for. In the meantime, South Africa are one of those. They need a win to confirm their place in the last 16 of the Mixed Open. Otherwise, they'll be crashing out as Germany take their place. But New Zealand could be on for a bit of a misery compala here. Rapati onto the field. Great footwork from him. Fires it into the path of Taigtua Muatuta. And South Africa, though, this time, keep them out.
A very rare defensive shutout. We've barely seen this South African transition because, I mean, such as the potency of the New Zealand attack, they've not really had any opportunity to transition themselves. But here they come.
It's important to strike the right tone in these fixtures, of course. We would never want to diminish the achievement in New Zealand, at the same time offering a bit of respect to this talented South African team who are only missing out on the last 16 by an absolute whisker to Germany.
Yeah, and it's been really close run, and I think that game, South Africa-Germany, that Germany took by 1, might come back and haunt this South African touch
Really
side.
will in fact be the difference between the two sides. The German team beaten 20-0 by New Zealand as well, so South Africa putting up a better fight here, and they have got another score. Jubilation from the box in front of us, a well-deserved score. Ella Potterton, in the end, is the beneficiary.
Yeah.
She's delighted with that.
Really good score, really good scoop through. And it's better from South Africa, engaging defenders, using the footwork, little show and go, bye-bye.
Kyle Thompson, great footwork, great stepping all the way through the Kiwi line. New Zealand tap off from the halfway as they look to add another to their growing tally. Hawken checks it back inside. Hawken at the half. Anderson to his right, scoops to his left. What a pass! What vision! Tawe Hatene in for another.
What a beauty of a... I mean, it's just the ball skills, right? From the middles, they're just superb. And when you start to run at a retreating defence, you'll see here, picks up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then gives the pass just as the South African defence gets onside. And it's almost an impossible task to be able to hit that line and get up before that pass is released.
Well, this is a seriously impressive mixed open side. They'll challenge the best of the best. And, well, God help whoever has to meet them in the round of 16. Could be a plethora of teams at the moment with the pools undecided going into the final game in Pool B. New Zealand, good defence, and they break away looking for their 16th score. 10 minutes into the second half. Great pick up at the halfway line and shipped on to Johnson. Or Jones even, Ifian Jones that time. Muir Tuta. Here's Rapati. Rapati again, quick pick up. What footwork this time, oh he's back to his feet as well. Take to a Muir Tuta. Rolled back by McIntyre. Muir Tuta, McIntyre, Rapati, one more should do it. Jeremia, over for the Kiwis again.
And a pronunciation masterclass from Will Colmsley.
Who knows? I had Trish Hopcroft from the Kiwis Women's Open side with me alongside for co-coms at the end of yesterday, and she was incredibly helpful because I was miles off pre-match. Our uncultured English tongues that need a bit of work.
Definitely uncultured
English. James Preston and Adam Collins here from across the way to give us a hand here. South Africa with a wonderful throw over the top, but it is picked off this time. Unfortunately there, Carl Thompson's magic this time ineffective.
Yeah, and from a South African perspective, you've just got to throw those balls and hope that they land in your own players' hands, because that's where they've found their success. That's where they've been trying to really challenge this New Zealand line. And they're going to need more of that as New Zealand roll into their line attack.
Good pick up. Jones is almost through. Thompson makes an important touch, and that keeps him out this time.
Yeah, good couple minutes from Thompson. Good defensive reads, and then also threatening the New Zealand line as well. And it looks like there'll be a penalty for not delivering the ball back to the mark. So South Africa with a 10-metre advantage on where they would have restarted. Good opportunity to get the fresh legs on and burn less touches to get there.
South Africa carrying up the centre with great pace. Ball onto the right-hand side to find Potterton again, who ships it now to the left. Inside from Vorster. Good pass. Duplessis, Boucher, Duplessis again. Boucher with a pick-up. Duplessis searches to the right-hand side, but he's caught. And the Touch Blacks will transition towards the box.
Yeah, just slightly running away from his support there. Needed to maybe look to the left-hand side, give the hands.
Towards the box in the substitute sense, as well as towards the South African team, of course. Good lift through the middle they go. Touch there on Tote. Look at the pace injected into the attack. The switch was on. McIntyre didn't give it. Touch made. Important intervention from Boucher. Here's Muir Tuta. in support. Little jinxing footwork from Tian McIntyre, but his pass goes awry.
Yeah, and they're trying. The New Zealand line attack at the moment is just so relaxed. And the pace at which they run, it's almost like they're saving themselves for finals day, knowing they've got one foot there already.
Well, it's quite comfortable. Quite easy, I'd say, to behave in such a manner when you are 16-3 up.
I think we should just take away on the score sheet in the top left of the screen. Just take away 10.
Let's just take 10 off for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
see
just take 10 off for the last 10
on.
minutes. In fact, take 16 off.
No tries from long balls.
Yeah,
They only scored through the centre. I think they've only scored 7 of those.
Cool, right, well, let's count. 0-0 from now, let's go.
next try wins here on pitch 2, live at the Touch Rugby World Cup. No, New Zealand are through and away. They're dumping out South Africa at the moment. Carl Thompson's had a great game and even wants another shout-out from us as well on the turn.
Oh, blowing kisses.
Well, change of the guard there. As South Africa score another in the meantime. So New Zealand score another in the meantime. Great hands once again. Anderson and Wilkie. And another score out wide.
So it's 1-0.
No, because I dare say that isn't going to shine any light on South Africa either, because New Zealand are relentless.
They are just so relentless, and South Africa now rolling into their line attack.
Well, that's lovely hands and a great dive over the line. Tegan Davis, but pulled back to the 7. Here's Thompson again. Ball in one hand, looking for the Hail Mary, and he does pick out over on that far right-hand side, Tegan Griffiths, but touch made. New Zealand back in possession.
Yeah, and it's better ideas from South Africa, trying to engage the middles once again. But New Zealand, I think it's the athleticism as well on display from every single player in that New Zealand squad. It's just outrageous.
New Zealand up to halfway on the transition with a few more touches left to strike. Muir Tuta. Good carry from Rapati. Great pickup as well. There's the scoop. Muir Tuta in behind again. Teitua Muir Tuta. In flight, Tian McIntyre with the assist. Another try for New Zealand. They look to crack that 20-point mark, which is the landmark for blowout performances here at the Touch Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, and I'll just echo the reaction of the South African subs box, and I quote, "God, it's beautiful," and it really is.
Well, Duplessis now for South Africa. Looking just to play some good touch. That's what is the point of order for the next 4 minutes for South Africa. Duplessis, Boucher. Good pickup. Soft offload, just dropped into the path of Joshua Boucher. But they'll come back for one last hammer at the nail.
And it's just this defensive spacing from New Zealand is elite level defence. And, you know, a gap would marginally appear for a fraction of a moment, and then all of a sudden closed, such is the defensive policy.
Touch made by Baran Vorster there, but New Zealand still up to halfway, and look at the pace injected onto the ball. Good heavens, New Zealand are off and rolling again. Here's Jones. Good pickup from Jones. He's got Flavel to his inside, and Flavel races away to score another. Gave that final ball as well to Mariana Winiana, but I don't think the try has been given in the end.
Yeah, I think it's been given forward, but they were playing advantage for an offside middle from South Africa. And we'll see if New Zealand can once again break them.
And that's very simple for Hartene.
And it's just, again, it's these core skills. They're just top notch. Every single player from New Zealand has got them. Open side quickie, fire up play, 2-on-1, execute. They do in the corner. And it's almost like there's a little inter-competition between New Zealand and Australia. As soon as Australia start to put scores on the board, it's like New Zealand go, oh, okay, no worries. We can do that too.
New Zealand cracking 20 against this South African side would be quite remarkable.
Only one away.
Here comes South Africa, though. Pick up from Ems. Diving over the line. Great effort. Caught the defence out by surprise, but the cover was there to deny Jabulani Zuma.
Oh, filthy feet by Zuma. Filthy feet.
Here's Zuma. Potterton, Zuma. Potterton at the half. Ems. Potterton on the wrap. Flashed into the path. Oh, well, they've got all the way through. I was going to say flashed into the path of Oberai before he was caught.
The refs give the score. South Africa are just running to kick the ball back because I think the touch was made. But South Africa are just like, no, you've given it now. We're going back to the centre to play
they're
on.
Having a discussion at the half.
Are they going to give it? Yeah.
Try scored by Jibril Oberai.
Beautiful little disguise. We'll see it on the replay.
Well, it's good heads-up touch from Oberai because he is caught, but keeps going, dots it down, offside given. South Africa on the board again.
And it's such a cheeky little move as well. Look for the wraparound. You dummy the wrapper and goes through the hole yourself. And South Africa will be happy with their 4 tries. They've been 4 really good tries, and they have to be against a defence such as New Zealand's because, I mean, you can't walk through them easily.
New Zealand still pushing all the time, and they have bagged another.
Yeah, and there's 20.
Jeremiah brings up 20 for the Kiwis. Well, if you're interested, this is the most tries, other than against Scotland. The second most tries, then, that New Zealand have conceded in all their games.
Yes. Wins for South Africa. We love it.
One more try for South Africa, and it will equal the most that New Zealand have conceded in the competition so far.
Bailey, if you listen to me in the box, take 20 off New Zealand.
That is the target then here for Boucher. 10 seconds to go on the clock. Can they carve out another opportunity? One last go at the line here. Duplessis, lovely line. Oh, over. Baren Vorster. And that's the 5th try. Only Scotland scored as many against New Zealand in this game. And in the end, it might finish 20 points to 5. But South Africa brought a lot of heart to the competition.
Oh, what a line as well, cut through the wing. And I'm so pleased for South Africa because it's so easy in these situations to just let your heads drop, feel like, you know, you're never really in it, but they never stopped and they get the score to finish. But, I mean, let's take nothing away from New Zealand, right? There's a reason why they put 20 against a team such as South Africa. It's just pure excellence.
Confirmation that Germany are through to the next round. They finish 1 place above South Africa after an 8-3 victory over Chinese Taipei. So South Africa are out, but New Zealand continue this unbelievable winning run. That's 20 they've put on South Africa, and they are through, top of the pool, to the next round of the Mixed Open. We return next to the Women's Open, where live here on pitch 2, it's Singapore who take on Wales. Both sides know that a win will keep them in the running for a quarter-final spot.
I love Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood. From the bright lights of Goose Fair to the peaceful nature of the Sherwood Forest woods. There's a feeling of togetherness, unity, pure, honest, love. And that feels great like a bright summer's day at the horses down by the lake at Colic. All I love Nottingham. The River Trent, the embankment, the Nottingham Carnival, different cultures dancing. The diversity, just walking down Columbus Street on a Saturday. The 2 lions in the square stand tall with pride. And when the market's in town come alive, it gives me life. Listen, as the council house clock chimes, and depending on how many times lets you know the time. I've been to concerts at the Motorpoint Arena, and I've been to concerts at the Nottingham Caves. I've been here all my life and I'm still amazed by this place. I love Nottingham. Sometimes I stare at Hockley's graffiti colourful walls, and sometimes I gaze at the deers running around Woolton Hall. Supreme thrills, from chilling up at Green's Mill or up at that castle on the hill. Nottingham, I love you, and I always will. Visit Nottingham today.
So what does it mean to you?
The time,
Sweat. The passion.
The thrill.
The determination.
The support.
The camaraderie.
But it's so much more than that.
We're playing for something bigger.
You ready?